Hi, I'm Robin. Again, the Sudoku Guy. Now in our last lesson we learnt about the top, middle, bottom, revised that. Then we learnt how to do the blocks from vertically using left, center, right. And this lesson we're going to learn two more things. One is how to solve a row, a column, or a block where there's only two cells left. And the other, which is most important, was what I call matching pairs. I'll explain that to you later. So let's get going, shall we? We'll start off with the blocks going across. 1. There's only one 1. 2. There's this block has got a 2, this block has got a 2. Therefore, the 2 has to go in here, and it can be there or there. But when I look down, I notice that there's a 2 down there, so that means that that's cancelled and this becomes the real 2. Okay, 3s. We have two 3s. We have a 3 on top here, 3 in the middle, and here we need to have a 3 in the bottom. So we put the two 3s in, but when we look down, we notice that there's a 3 here, so that means that this is cancelled and the real 3 becomes this spot here. 4s. We have two 4s. We have a middle, we have a top, and this block doesn't have a 4, so it has to be in the bottom, and it goes right there. 5s. There's only one 5, so let's push on. 6s. There's two 6s. There's a 6 here in the middle, a 6 there on the top, and this one doesn't have a 6, so it has to be in the bottom. It has there or there. Well, we know by looking at that there, it can't be there because you can't have two 6s, so the 6 will have to be there. 7s. There's only one 7, let it go. 8s, there's only one 8. 9, I don't see any 9s. So let's now go to these three blocks horizontally. 1, well, we have a 1 here and a bottom. We have a 1 there at the top, so the 1s have to be in the middle. But because we have a 1 there, and because we have a 1 there, that'll cancel out any 1s in here, so this will have to be the 1. Okay, 2s. Only one, there's two 2s. There's a 2 here and there's a 2 here. A middle, a bottom, so it has to be up at the top. Okay, so we put a little 2 there and a little 2 there. Now when we look up and down this one, there's a 2 there, so that cancels out this one, and this becomes the 2. Okay, now 3s. Well, we have a 3 in the middle, and we have a 3 on the top in this block, so the 3 has to be down in here somewhere. So it can be here or here. Bottom, top, middle. We look up and down, there's no 3, so we keep them as little numbers. 4s. There's only one 4 in these three blocks, so let's leave it. 5. There's only one 5 in these three blocks, so let's leave it. 6s. Well, there's two 6s. There's a 6 in this block on the bottom. There's a 6 in this block on the top, so therefore the 6 has to be in the middle. Therefore, it is either here or here. But when you look down, you'll see a 6 here, so that cancels out this 6, and this becomes the real 6. Okay, 7s. There's no 7s, so we push on to the 8s. There are no 8s. Well, never. But there are two 9s I see. There's a 9 on the bottom here, a 9 on the top here. There's these two spots. We could have a 9. We'll put small 9s in, and we can look up. There's no 9 here, there's no 9 here, so leave it. Now let's do these three blocks. There's only one 1, leave it. 2s. Well, there's a bottom 2, there's a 2 at the top here. Therefore the 2 has to go in here and here. But now let's look up. If we look up here, we notice that there's a 2. So we can't have two 2s in that column, so that becomes a 2. This next one next to it becomes the 2. Okay, let's look at 3s. There's only one 3 in the middle block. There's none in the other two blocks. 4s. There's only one 4 in this block. 5. There's, oh, look at this. There's a 5 on the top here and a 5 in the middle there. So therefore, you have to have a 5 down in here, 5 there and a 5 there. But when I look up here, there's a 5 there. So that means this 5 is cancelled, and a big 5 goes right next door to it here. Sixes. There are two sixes. There's a 6 in the bottom here, a 6 at the top here. So therefore the 6 has to be in the bottom here. So it goes there. Oh boy, I've just noticed I've made a mistake. And boy, that can happen to anybody. Just have to roll with it. I'll correct it, no problems. We can't have two 6s in a row, and we can't have two 6s in a column. So that 6 wasn't supposed to go there. It was supposed to go over there. Okay, now let's go back to the 9s. The 9, 9, this was where the 9 goes. Now we come to the 1s going up and down the vertical columns, and there was only one 1. The 2s, we've got them already. 3s, we have a 3 here and a 3 here, a right, a center, and there has to be on the left. And we can have two 3s in here because there's no 3s along there, so that's the way that'll go. 4s. There's only one 4, so push on. 5s. There are two 5s, a right, a center, and there'll be two 5s in here. Okay. Let's push on. 6s. We've got the 6s already. The 7s. Well, we have a 7 here on the left, and we have a 7 here on the center. Therefore, a 7 needs to go in here somewhere. So I'll put a 7 there and a 7 there. But you know what I've just noticed? See, when we put this 9 in, that cancels out that 9. So if that cancels out that 9, therefore this becomes the 9. That's a neat little trick we haven't done yet. That's a 9 now. Okay, let's go on to 7s, 8s. There's one 8, that's all. 9s, let's see, we have a 9 on the right, a 9 on the left, and we need a 9 in the middle, the center. So that becomes a 9. Now I've just suddenly noticed that this row has only got one number left. Can we work out what that one number left is? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7. Put it in. Now, is there any ramifications of that? Yes, there are. There's a ramification for that. Because now that we're doing vertical columns, we have to, and blocks, we have to look for ramification every time we put a number in. So this 7 and that 7, we have a top, we have a bottom. In this block here, it has to be in the middle, so we can add it right there. Now, that is a good example of ramifications. Fine. 8, 9. We're now ready to do the vertical columns here, the vertical blocks. 1s are already there, right, left, center. 2s are already there, center, right, left. 3s, left, center, right. They're all there. 4s. We have a 4 here on the right, a 4 in the center. A 4 will have to go down here. It can go either here or here, but let's look to the right or left and see what there is. There's a 4 there. So therefore that crosses out that 4, and this becomes the 4 here. Good. Now, what are any ramifications of that 4? Yes, there are. Here is a 4 on the bottom. Here is a 4 at the top. So a 4 has to go in here somewhere. It's either it's got to go here or here. Now we look up. Is there any 4 on that column? No, there's no 4 on that column. Just leave it. 5s in here. We have a 5 here in the center. We have a 5 on the left, center. This one doesn't have a 5. It has to be in there or there. If I put it in two 5s and then I look to the right and left, and what do I find? I find that there's a 5 already there, so that cancels out that 5, so this becomes the 5. Now, 6s. There's a 6 on the right, a 6 in the center, and a 6 on the left. We're all done. 7s. We only have one 7. Leave it. 8s. There's no 8s at all. 9s. Here we have a block with a 9 in it in the center. Here this block has it on the left. Therefore, this one block has to have it on the right. Very good. Now we can do the vertical on this column. Vertical blocks. Let's see the ones. There's only one 1. Twos. All the twos are there. Left, center, and right. Threes. We only have 1 3. And by the way, I should tell you something here that I've missed. It's so easy to miss. The further you go in these puzzles, the more there is to miss. But don't worry about it, because I've got techniques later on in the course that show you how to find those things that you missed. See this 5? It's on the top. This 5 is in the middle. That 5 can go there or there. So this becomes what we call a matching pair. And now let me tell you something about matching pairs. They are probably the most important feature of solving Sudoku puzzles. And I underlined a matching pair. They're a matching pair because they match each other. We underline them as a way of saying they are only 2 numbers that can fit in those 2 cells. Let's just show you. 5 has to be there or there. 3 has to be there or there. No other numbers. That's very important. You'll see later on. Where were we up? We were doing 2s, we did 3s. We're now ready to do a 4. 4s. There's a 4 on the right here. There's a 4 in the center, but there's no 4 in this block, but it has to be on the left, and it can be there. It has to be there, because once you've got 3 5 as a matching pair, no other number can go there. Now, 5s. Well, there's a 5 here, but we can't use those right now because you've got too many options. 6s. We've got the 6s here already. Left, right, center. 7s. We only have 1 7. Push on. 8s. There are no 8s. 9s. There's only 1 9. Wow. No, correction. I've just suddenly noticed there's 2 9s. There's a left, there's a center. Therefore, the 9 has to be up here in the right. So on that empty block, the 9 has to be on the right, and there's only 1 spot for it. There we go. Now, any ramifications that I've missed, I wonder? No, I think we've got all the ramifications of those new numbers. So now what we do is that we look for rows, columns, or blocks that have only got 1 or 2 cells left. Yeah, now we're doing 2 cells left. Let's see if is there a row or a column that has only got 2 cells or 1 cell left. Let's see. I think, I'm just looking here. Well, let's do something that's got 2 cells left. In this row here, see that row there? That's got 2 cells missing. Now what 2 cells, the 2 numbers that are going to go in those cells are going to be a matching pair. So we're missing a 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there'll be a 7 there. And an 8. They are the 2 numbers left that will go in that row. And they are matching pairs. But now watch carefully, because one of the neat things about matching pairs is that if you get one of them, you've got the other one. Look at this 7, 8. We've got a 7 there. So that means you can get rid of that 7, and this becomes an 8, which means this 8 is cancelled on that row, and this becomes a 7. And we've completed that row just because we knew how to complete 2 empty cells. Now I'm sure there's others. Look at this one here, by the way. Here's a column that's only got 1 cell left. Let's count it up, find out what's missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8 again. Okay, now let's look at the ramification of that. The ramification simply says there's a middle, a top, and over here it has to be on the bottom. Okay. But now we've got a block here that's only got 1 number left. It can't be a 7 because that's already in there. So let's count through and see what it is. It's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 4. A 4 has to go there. Now that means it cancels out this 4. So this becomes a 4. This is neat how these two little numbers, just two numbers, you don't have to pile of numbers, can really help you. And therefore this becomes a 3. A 3. And now we have, well, what have we got now? Do we have any row, column, or block that's only got 2 left? Well, this block has only got 1 left. And I think it's a 7. Let's count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's a 7. Now, what's the ramification of that? Here we have a middle. Here we have a bottom. Up here, it has to be on the top, and there's only one place it can go, so it goes there. And what's the ramification of that one? Here we have 2. We have a 7 here and a 7 here. Down in here, we don't have a 7, so it's a right, a center, and it has to be on the left here. Whoops, sorry, I'm getting tired. Okay, 7. Okay, so that helped a lot. Are there any other blocks or rows that have only got 2 left? Yes, there are. Here's one. This one, and no, there's 3 in there, isn't there? We're looking for 2. Here, well, here's one here, and here. What's missing? We're missing a 1, and we're missing a something else. Can we work that out? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8. A 1 and an 8. Well, that's interesting. What do you notice? They're a matching pair again. So if you get 1, you've got the other number. There's an 8 just there. So you can't have an 8 there, so that becomes a 1. If that becomes a 1, this becomes an 8. Isn't that neat? Okay. Now this block has only got 1 left in it. And that column has only got 1 left in it. You can go 2 ways. You can either do the column or you can do the block. And I think it's an 8. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8. Okay. Now, this column here has only got 1 left in it. And let's see what that could be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's also an 8. And that makes sense because you can double check yourself. Here's an 8, middle, bottom, top. So it's right. Okay. Now we're down to only 1 number left in this row here. In this row at the bottom, there's only 1 number left, and I think it's a 1. And we can double check ourselves because, look, here's a top, there's a middle, and there's a bottom. This block has only got 1 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7. And we can check that because here it's a center, a left, and a right. This has only got 1 cell left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8. Okay. Now we're down to the situation where we've only got 2 cells left in that row. It wasn't the case to begin with, was it? So this is now a 5 and a something. Let me see. It's a 1 and a 5, I think. A 1 and a 5 there, because that's the only 2 numbers that are left in that row. Now let's look down. Whoa, look at what I see. Here, look at this 1, 5. Go down and you've got a 1 there. So that means that this becomes a 5. It cancels out the 1. And if that's a 5, this is a 1. Now, what is the ramification of that 5? Well, it's very powerful. Let me show you. You can't have a 5 here now, can you? So that changes that 3, 5 to a 3, and this automatically becomes a 5. And there you see, with matching pairs, you always have the neat experience that if you get one of the numbers in the matching pair, you got the other one. Here, this block has only got 1 left in it, and it's a 1, 2, I think it's a 3. 3, 3, right, center, left, yeah, has to be a 3. And we've completed that row. Wow, we're getting close. We're coming to the end. In this particular situation, you can either work on this block or you can work on the rows. I'm going to work on the block just for fun. You've got a choice there. And in this solving puzzles, you'll often have 2 ways to get there or more. Okay, this 1 means that you can't have a 1 there, so that'll have to be a 1. And what's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an 8 again. Okay. And that fits. 8 is right. 8, middle, top, bottom. You always double check yourself. None. Yes, that's correct. Now this block has only got 1 left in it, and there's a little 5 that has to be a 5. There's the only one left. So that becomes a 5. And voila, we have completed our puzzle. Way to go, everybody. I just want to finish off, folks, with a couple of hints about doing Sudokus. Yes, you can make mistakes. I just made one on this one. Don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. You can got several choices. You can say, oh, well, better luck next time, and go to in the book or something and go and do another one. Some people go to the trouble to rub out all the numbers and start again. If you want to do that, fine. Some people say, oh, well, I'll take a break. So you've got different options. But it does happen, because so often when you've come to a dead end, as it were, and you've suddenly got 2 numbers in a line or a column or a block, you don't know when it happened, and you can't correct it. It's hard to correct it. So just start another one. Don't worry about it. It happens to us all, including me. Now here's another hint. If you mess up, it's not the end of the world, as I said. But if you get stuck, and this happens to me a lot when it comes to really difficult puzzles, take a break. Go and have a cup of tea. Go to the washroom. Go to the toilet. Just do something different. Come back 10 minutes later, and suddenly you'll see something you didn't see before. That's happened to me many times. Come back next day and continue with it. Suddenly you see something that you didn't see yesterday. So that's it for this lesson. Bye for now.